Alright guys, they just announced Marvel's Avengers Doomsday, and you have no idea how much of a doomsday this movie's going to be. This is either one of the weirdest casting announcements ever for an Avengers team-up movie, or the greatest smokescreen in the history of smokescreens. How do you have Thor be the only mainstay Avenger in the movie? I get it, he's the only one that's alive, except for Hulk, but Hulk's not announced. So you have Chris Hemsworth as Thor.
I'm still worthy.
He's gonna be Thor for the rest of his life. He's gonna be Ian McKellen's age, being Thor. It's like we have Fat Thor, we have Serious Thor, we have Ragnarok Thor, and we have Old Thor. And then we have Anthony Mackie, Danny Ramirez, and Sebastian Stan coming back as Captain America, the Falcon, and the Winter Soldier. Now, after the Doomsday that was their movie, Captain America, Brave New World, it's a very brave decision to have them be the second mainstays of the Avengers. Anthony Mackie's a great actor. Sebastian Stan's a great actor. Unfortunately, they're just not the actors that we need to be pushing the paper right now, to be pushing the agenda. Paul Rudd coming back, and it's like, truly, his last movie was kind of irrelevant now that Kang is no longer a part of the MCU, or at least Jonathan Majors isn't. So it's like, what does he really do? And you have Tom Hiddleston as Loki, which I love Loki. I think he's one of the greatest characters in the history of film. His character development over 11 years is amazing. And then to kind of bring that all to a halt and restart his character development from a new angle in the first season of Loki and then again in the second season, it's amazing. But we don't know which version of Loki we are going to get. And that's what stresses me out, because you have about 30 people in this cast. This is a million stories into one. Then you got Letitia Wright as Black Panther and Winston Duke as M'Baku. It's like, yeah, I love them, I'm excited, but again, what? And then we have the Fantastic Four. I fear they're not going to do as good as we think they're going to do. Fantastic Four has not come out yet. So how good are they truly going to be? But that being said, it's an all-star cast. You got Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby, Joseph Quinn, and The Thing, or I like to say, Cousin. Yes, chef. Their movie's set in the 60s or the 70s, and then you have, this movie's gonna be set not in the 60s or 70s, so how are they gonna get there? And it's confusing, and it's like, are we gonna have to then deal with the fact that we have a brand new, Avengers core, a new X-Men core, and then also dealing with time travel again, which is okay, we kind of did that in Days of Future Past in X-Men, and it kind of was weird. We did it again in Endgame, and now we're doing it again here. It's okay, it's a lot of information, a lot of characters, and I'm not a fan of it.
Uno, dos, tres.
And then we have the Thunderbolts cast. Florence Pugh, David Harbour, Wyatt Russell as Yelena, Red Guardian, and US Agent. Love it. I think they're going to be amazing for this. I think they bring that street level vibe that this movie probably needs to stay grounded, even though it probably won't be a grounded movie at all. But hey, I'm in for it. But then you got your Ghost, Lewis Pullman as Bob, aka Sentry, Simu Liu as Shang-Chi, and then we have Namor. It's I'm really excited for all these characters, but also I fear no point.
Yeah.
And who's not in this cast? Taskmaster, which means, guess what? She dies in the Thunderbolt. So you basically ruin probably a minor or major plot point of a movie that nobody even cares about anymore. Boom. You have the X-Men coming back. This is what I'm excited for. Patrick Stewart as Charles Xavier, Ian McKellen as Magneto, and then Kelsey Grammer as Beast. We've seen them all recently. We've seen Kelsey Grammer in a post-credits scene in The Marvels, Patrick Stewart in Doctor Strange, A Multiverse of Madness, and then Ian McKellen, we saw him briefly in Days of Future Past. That was amazing. Alan Cumming coming back as Nightcrawler. I love it, but it's the same thing as Captain America Brave New World, where President Ross's daughter is a mainstay of the entire movie, and quite frankly, nobody cared because we hadn't heard of her in 15 years. The last time Alan Cumming was in a X-Men movie was 2003, which by the time this movie comes out will be 23 years after the fact. Respectfully, who cares? Then we have James Marsden as Cyclops. I love James Marsden. I hope we give him the service he deserves. I think he's a character that, even though we haven't spoken about him in 20-something years and 15-something years, it's a character that lives in everyone's heart because Cyclops is a main part of the X-Men in all of the comic books and all of the animated series. And they did him so dirty in the original X trilogy.
No!
Channing Tatum as Gambit, saw him last in Deadpool and Wolverine, that was fun. And then Rebecca Romijn coming back as Mystique, and the last time we saw her was X-Men First Class. So, again, having the X-Men be introduced is going to be really interesting, but I fear they're not doing it a service. But the best part about this is that we have Robert Downey Jr. as Victor Von Doom, or maybe Tony Stark as Victor Von Doom, or maybe Tony Von Doom, or maybe Victor Stark. But it's like, that's going to be the most interesting part, is how do they make us care about this character, knowing that this is the character that started what we love and what we're watching. This video right now was started by Tony Stark. How are they going to do justice to this character and allowing us to love a character so much, change that character, and now introduce us a brand new character with the same actor? That's what's going to be tough for me to actually care about.
New mask, same task.
But the thing that's truly baffling, how do you not have Scarlet Witch? How do you not have Vision? How do you not have Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk? How do you not have Daredevil? How do you not have Deadpool? How do you not have Wolverine? How do you not have, like, Spider-Man? I'm sorry, this makes no sense whatsoever. How could you have some of the mainstays of the Avengers, mainstays of the MCU, your strongest characters, on the sideline for one of the biggest movies in the MCU in like the last 5 years? And I would argue one of the most important movies in its entirety. Because how are you going to make us care about a team-up movie when there is no team? There's no teasing. There's no nothing. There's no mention of the Eternals, Wong, the Marvels. It seems like the entire MCU is a bunch of plot points that are completely missing, and it makes no sense because we should be loving this movie, and instead they're making us care about a whole new set of characters that we haven't had a chance to love yet. And respectfully, I don't want to love them. I don't want to love them.
You feel me?
Sorry, I'm passionate about this. It's frustrating. It's not really frustrating, but it's fun. Because, like, we're still gonna all watch this movie, but we're all gonna complain about it. Because that's just what Marvel is. Take my money. I will buy everything you want me to buy. Please, I will spend my money, but I just want to enjoy the theaters again. I want to have another moment in the theaters where Captain America says,
"Assemble."
and we all start crying, or when he grabs, like, Thor's hammer for the first time, and it's like, yo, there's nothing to call back to now. There's no callbacks. There's nothing that I'm looking forward to seeing. And that's what needs to change, and I fear that this cast is not going to do it. This cast for Doomsday is going to be one more Doomsday.
Are you crying? No. Yes.
If you feel the same way, let me know, because I want to talk to you. All right, guys, let us know in the comments down below what you think about the announcement for Marvel's Doomsday.